Amanda, we've all heard some of the rumors. Chick-fil-A, Panera Bread, Zaxby's, Publix, a new brewery, a Riverwalk. One thing is for sure, people are moving here, developers are starting to build, and the towns, they are just trying to keep up with the infrastructure. With more than 127,000 people and nearly 2,400 construction permits issued in fiscal year 2016.
Brunswick County has been the fastest growing county in the state.
Brunswick County is booming.
Come one, come all.
I think you're going to see Brunswick County emerge, to me, as the economic driving force in southeastern North Carolina.
Whether it's the weather,
Lack of snow,
cost of living,
tax rates a little lower,
or maybe the beaches.
people looking for somewhere to retire.
Brunswick County Commissioner Frank Williams says as more and more people move here, more and more developers are starting to build.
We've got a chance to really put ourselves on the map.
Brunswick County Economic Development and Planning Director Mike Hargett says they are not only seeing residential growth, but also commercial and industrial everywhere.
There are some hot spots, but our tracking information indicates that growth is occurring throughout the county.
The hot spots?
Northern Brunswick County.
Leland.
On Village Road, where we are trying to create a new downtown, we've got the Harrington Village project.
Economic Planning Director Gary Vidmar says that will be 300 apartments and 13 buildings of commercial and retail space.
We have 2 new retail buildings going up in front of Waterford.
Vidmar says that will have space for 6 to 8 more commercial retailers.
Across the street from Waterford, the Aldi grocery store is finally going up.
Next door on a 63-acre plot between Plouffe Road and Ocean Gate.
The developer who has that land under contract is continuing to negotiate with some nationally recognized retailers and restaurants.
And then right next door in front of Walmart.
We have 3 retail buildings going up, all under construction at the same time, each of which will have 3 or 4 retail and restaurant tenants.
And what about Brunswick Forest?
We currently have another retail building going up that will be comprised of 2 restaurants and another retailer.
Vidmar says Emerge Ortho is building an operating room next to New Hanover Regional Medical Center's office building.
And then there will also be an assisted living center going up later this year in Brunswick Forest as well.
If you do the math, that's more than 50 spaces planned for new retail and restaurants. So that brings us to the questions we've all been waiting for. Chick-fil-A.
They're talking to one of the developers.
Panera Bread.
So Panera's been talking to a couple of different developers. They've been talking to the developer that's putting up the 2 buildings in front of Waterford, as well as the Twin Rivers Capital people.
Publix, has Publix ever looked?
Publix were looking at some properties about a year ago, but I believe they've curtailed their plans for Leland for now.
What do all of these places have in common? None of them have dotted the I's or crossed the T's.
So they won't disclose any names until they're actually got signed leases and signed contracts.
There is one name Vidmar can announce.
Apple Annie's Bakery.
But that's not all.
They're going to be opening up a new bakery here in Leland, and they're going to be pairing it with a wine bar.
Vidmar says in 3 or 4 years, Leland is going to be a different town.
The hope is that we will create our own shopping environment, restaurant and dining areas.
And Leland isn't the only town in Brunswick County that is headed for some big change.
Shallotte has a very aggressive waterfront development.
Shallotte Mayor Walter Eckert says they hope to start construction on a $75 million Riverwalk at the beginning of next year.
There's a brewery that is negotiating to come into town.
Red Hair Brewery, based in Atlanta, is proposed for the building where the Coastal Drugstore is right now. And long term, Eckert says the town wants to create more walking access.
Expanding our sidewalks on streets that both feed into Main Street and would connect neighborhoods to downtown.
So what are the other hot spots in the county?
St. James, that area still continues to grow. And then on the southern end, down around Carolina Shores and then up to Ocean Ridge.
Hargett says Oak Island has also been getting some recent attention.
The addition of the new Midway Commons area is attracting more commercial development. They also have the Pine Forest project.
So what about the big industries?
We haven't landed the big one yet, but we won't ever do it if we don't keep going for it.
Williams says it's all about the competition.
We've not lost out to other places in North Carolina. We've lost out to other states. So I think some changes will have to be made at the state level for the whole state to really be competitive as far as those large industrial projects.
But Williams says Brunswick County is booming. in the right direction.
I just think we've got a great thing going, and we just have to keep it going. And that's, you know, we're obviously want Brunswick County to be known as the best place to live and work, not only in southeastern North Carolina, but in North Carolina, period. And I think we've got all the tools. We just got to keep pushing and make it happen.
And with growth comes challenges. While talking to the planners and the mayors, they all said the same thing: traffic, infrastructure, water, and sewer. And they're all looking at different ways to make sure they are keeping up. Live in Brunswick County, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News. Daniel?